Welcome to the number of the day. It's the 26th of January, and what a January it has been for gold. The number of the day is 5,000 because the gold price has hit $5,000 an ounce, which, by the way, a few months ago was just an unthinkable number. Even $4,000 an ounce was a high price for gold. So we can mostly attribute this to US President Donald Trump. And I will explain why in a little bit. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about the numbers, because this isn't just gold, it is a picture. We have the gold price. Over the last year, it's risen by 85%. And like I said, just unthinkable prices. For this year alone, it is up 17%. Silver has reached a new record high. If you thought that 85% in a year was big, look at platinum. Platinum has reached a new record high above $2,900 an ounce. And this is important for South Africa because we make most of the world's platinum. Platinum is up more than 200% over the last year. And then the rand hitting 16 rand for the very first time in more than 3.5 years today. It briefly touched 15 Rand 99 or thereabouts, and it settled just above 16 Rand. This also is significant if you look at the fact that last year we were trading at about 18.70 to the dollar, so now nearly 19 Rand. We were asking then, can we hit 18? We were asking in December, can the Rand hit 17 to the dollar? It has reached 16 Rand to the dollar today. Before we look at why, let's look at why this is important for you if you are a South African. The rand helps inflation, the rate at which prices are going up, mostly because we import fuel for our cars. And we've seen the oil price at an okay level and the rand really pushing fuel prices down to 4-year lows. And hopefully we can now see another cut. So that makes life more affordable, essentially, because so many of us are spending so much on transport costs. And if we look at the mining, the precious metals, maybe this means a better economy. Hopefully this year we'll be talking about the fact that the ports are working well to allow these miners to export their goods. A year ago, at the beginning of 2024, there were huge concerns about job losses across the mining sector. So at least this has staved that off. And hopefully we can talk about mining expansion in South Africa, because for years we've been talking about the decline of the mining sector for various reasons, including regulation. But hopefully this is an impetus, and we're just seeing the JSE, by the way, also pushing up because the miners are doing so well also at record highs. So what is driving gold to $5,000 an ounce? What is driving the rand to a 4-year high? What is driving platinum to record highs? What is driving silver to record highs? So to a large extent, there is demand for precious metals, especially gold here. Gold is seen as a safe bet, a store of value. It is something physical, unlike money, which is basically something that we believe in and can come and go. When there are fears about the future, when there are fears about the world economy, when there's uncertainty and people don't know where stocks are going to go, how the companies will do, and how governments will do, they like gold. And of course, it doesn't help when the US president threatens tariffs on Canada, like he has over the last few days, saying if they tie up with China, they're denying they will. Before that, we saw it was about Greenland, possibly military intervention. If anything creates uncertainty about the economy, it's possible invasions and things like tariffs. Central banks have been buying gold like never before. Platinum, slightly different, and platinum is important for us. Platinum is used in cars, and there's demand around the world for fuel guzzling cars, so that's doing well, but also part of this precious metal bundle. Then we look at interest rates. And this is important because when the US is dropping interest rates, like it may hold this week, but generally interest rates in the United States are lower. And that is when there is more interest in gold as something that can store value and maybe yield returns in future, because interest rates mean that you get less when your money is in the bank, you get less on government bonds. The driver of the rand is mainly the US dollar. So the dollar is at a 4-month low. The dollar is not doing well. That is partly because of the ructions in the United States, concerns about the independence of the Federal Reserve, and concerns that the US may even shut down again because the Democrats are now saying they don't like what's going on in Minneapolis. So they're not going to vote for the legislation that's needed to keep the US government open, which talks about general debt concerns about the United States. So what is happening generally is creating some uncertainty around the dollar. Now, the dollar itself used to act like a safe haven, like gold, but it is no longer doing that. It's behaving more like an emerging market currency, like our own. So when investors used to be scared, sometimes they used to hide in the dollar. Now they are not. So the rand generally just responding to a weaker dollar. And it's great against the dollar. It's not as great if we look at the rand against the euro, for example. So it's at 19 rand to the euro, where it was a year ago. But within this, there's also some good news about the rand, because the rand was heading to 22 rand to a euro in April last year. That was when there was huge concern about the Trump tariffs, huge concern about our own government of national unity not being able to get its act together to just put a budget on the table that everybody agreed to. So the rand, compared to April last year, doing well, even against the euro, as well as the dollar. And we've seen a lot of good news around South Africa. Generally, investors are finding us to be a better bet. So let's leave it there. This, right now, all good news for South Africa. Gold at an incredible record high, $5,000 an ounce today.